Okay, I guess it's 8:30, so we will call this meeting of the Sawyer County Land, Water, and Forest Resources Committee to order. And we'll start with the roll call, please.
Steve Carrianen.
Here.
Randy Newman.
Here.
Kay Wilson. Here. Jim Evans.
Here.
Dale Magnuson. You have a quorum.
Pledge of allegiance.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Certification of compliance with the open meetings law.
This meeting was noticed to the media and the public as required by section 19.84 of the Wisconsin statutes.
The meeting agenda is set, and we will call the public hearing on land and water resource management plan to order. Turn this over to Mr. Seidel, and he can guide us through this if he would.
I just want to start with a quick little intro to Land and Water Plan and the Conservation Department in general. So Land and Water Conservation Department is responsible for promoting, protecting, and enhancing the land and waters of Sawyer County. In conjunction with federal, state, and county agencies and programs, the department has initiated tree planting programs, designs, and implements erosion control practices. We administer the wildlife damage program, and the department provides educational information to lake associations, schools, and other interested organizations as requested. We also maintain the county-owned dams. The department continues to educate farmers on the need for nutrient management plans. We have provided nutrient management farmer education training in the past and will continue to provide trainings and apply for grant funding as needed until all of our farmland is covered by nutrient management. If or when staff find an issue or one is reported, department staff will take appropriate action. We have very few farms remaining in the county. I think we're down to like 7 dairies. Due to the small number of agricultural operations, all agricultural operations in general are considered a priority farm. We don't feel that it is appropriate to focus on individual operations in a plan, and federal law doesn't allow information concerning any farm operations to be shared. Just for a little perspective on the farming end of it, a rural county such as Kewaunee has 97 cows per square mile. In contrast, Sawyer County has 7 cows per square mile. Just kind of illustrates the difference in landscapes across the state and why our priorities differ from other counties. In addition, our staff conducts compliance checks every spring for non-metallic mining operations, checking the size, compliance checklist, and photos for documentation. And since taking over the non-metallic mining program last year, we've also implemented requiring that all non-metallic mine operators have fire numbers for both safety and identification purposes. We've also organized all the current and past files and are working towards electronic communications and having all files organized or digitized, I'm sorry. Staff also helps landowners with any conservation practices listed in Appendix B of the plan on pages 42 and 43. Some of the main practices provided in the last 10 years include shoreline protection, stream bank protection, shoreline restoration, animal fencing, animal walkways, and watering, to name a few. Beyond designing conservation practices, staff consult with landowners on best management practices to be used on their properties. Recently, staff has not only utilized our cost share funds, we've secured additional funds for an upcoming large stream bank stabilization and restoration project in the county. So, as stated before to the committee, groundwater protection is an important aspect to county conservation departments. In fact, a new groundwater monitor study is to be conducted over the next several years for Sawyer County. It is our hope that this data will be utilized in a future municipal wellhead groundwater protection ordinance. However, any potential land use regulations related to wellhead protection should be implemented by the zoning department and not something specifically called out in the land and water resource management plan. All in all, as a full-time staff department of 2 people, we often adjust our resources to address whatever the current needs of the county are.
That's our little intro. I guess if there's any additional questions from the committee at this point, we field them. Otherwise, you'd want to open up to other general public comments.
Any questions before we go forward? Okay, general public, what say you? Zoom.
Linda Zolmer, Edgewater property owner. I think this is the third 10-year
You
update.
can come up to this
Oh,
mic
okay.
here. Yes.
Linda Zilmer, Edgewater property owner. This is the third plan update that I guess I've really taken a look at. And over the last 20 years, because of the Northwest Wisconsin grazers, I have become more familiar with what other county conservation departments do, whether it's Washburn, Burnett, Polk, Barron, or even Rusk counties. And like Sawyer County, most county conservation departments are a department of only 2 or 3 people. Counties like Chippewa County have a lot more staff and they're able to do a lot more. But I really think that with this plan going forward for the next 10 years, the county should be incorporating more details and having annual follow-ups. And I've sent the committee members and staff a number of emails outlining the things that I would like to see more specifically defined. Primarily, I think groundwater is an area where Sawyer County needs to be more specific and set some timelines and objectives to complete some things about groundwater. The groundwater mapping project is a mapping project, and I appreciate the recognition that it will address groundwater flow and wellhead protection, but it is not a groundwater study. There are towns in this county that have taken on their own water sampling. As part of when Sawyer County became an agent of the state for DAC-CAP for licensing lodging facilities, they also started doing water sampling. And primarily it is for the convenience of lodging facilities. And I would ask that there be something specific put in this plan about the county taking on groundwater sampling and analysis. I think this version 9 even references the fact that there are years and years of data since Sawyer County has been doing water sampling that there've never been the resources to compile and analyze the data. So yeah, I through the process, I have heard bits and pieces about how this plan needs to be tight and limited because there are limited resources, but I think the plan needs to address everything. There are things going on at a state level that make me feel a little bit hopeful, such as the joint meeting of the Natural Resources Board and DAC-CAP's board. And in listening in on the Land Water Conservation Board that will be reviewing the Sawyer County plan, expect about a good half hour to 40 minutes of questions about what the county's doing. If you've looked at other plans, yes, each county is unique, but I think most of them go into a lot more detail. And I would rather see this plan for the next 10 years address some things to where the county can hold itself accountable, and especially with making more progress on groundwater quality, not just mapping the flow. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else have anything to say or comment on?
No one online has a question.
No one online? How about committee members? Are we done with the public hearing sector?
Sounds like it.
Sounds like it. Well, if that's the case, I guess we will make that official and move on with the agenda. Unless there's this,
Guess you'd wanna, yeah, just from a zoning background, to make sure that the record's clean, basically call for a motion, to close the public hearing. Good to close it and then open a discussion action just between you, the committee members.
thank you, Jay. Does anyone care to make a motion to close the public hearing?
So moved.
Thank you. Okay, motion by Ms. Wilson, second by Mr. Evans. All in favor? Aye. Motion carried. Okay, on public comments. Oh, part B on the discussion.
Yeah.
Discussion action for the proposed 2027 through 2036 Sawyer County Land and Water Resource Management Plan.
And the only other additional thing I'd have to add, you know, in hearing some of the public comments, we did have our initial kickoff meeting with the glacial geological mapping. This is from the Wisconsin Geological and Natural History Survey. They are going to be taking some of the raw data that Matt McKay, as part of the Health and Human Service Department, has for those water test kits. You had heard, you know, a public comment that, you know, those lodging facilities are required to have a water test kit done before they're issued a lodging license, commonly referred to as a tourist rooming house license. That data is to be shared with the Wisconsin Geological Survey and as part of this groundwater study. And so they're going to pull in a bunch of different information, give us this groundwater mapping study when it's finally completed. They're looking at completion, and I believe they said now it'd be kind of 2028 would be the final completion. That would also give us kind of a mapping of showing the flow or direction of groundwater, and then that mapping to be used with a municipal wellhead protection ordinance. You know, there may be certain aspects that is upstream of a groundwater flow where you wouldn't want to have that type of land use because it could affect the municipal wellhead downstream. Vice versa, if there's a specific land use that's downstream, and it can be proven by that mapping that it is less a contributing factor for that groundwater to move the other direction, maybe that type of land use is acceptable in that area. So that's where I was kind of hoping that we would, you know, focus the municipal wellhead protection in collaboration with the groundwater mapping study that is to be conducted.
And that's 2 years plus out.
Yeah, they're going to be starting June, July of 2026, and then final mapping and prep first quarter of 2028 would be available for publication.
And again, is that county specific or statewide, or how is?
They're doing multiple statewide organization or multiple municipalities, I should say. This one co-aligned, and we were able to get it at a cheaper rate. But they're also right now doing the LCO reservation areas. So they're already in the area. They're already doing the study for our area. So that's where it was convenient for us to tie on at the same time.
Great.
And this was something that was approved by Capital Improvement Project. Might have to restructure this a little bit different. The funding wouldn't change, but I might have to do a 3-year time slot as opposed to a 2-year time slot. Yeah.
Thank you.
The one thing about the information coming from the short-term rentals is they only test for coliform.
Yeah.
And that's a very small scope for testing groundwater.
Right. But it is another resource, another datum that can be, you know, put into that. You know, the other ones they're really looking at the DNR well reports, well drilling reports as to depth of drinking water, depth of you know, those wells in that area. But you know, as they proceed with the mapping, we can give a, you know, a 1-year update, you know, as part of the study that's going to be conducted by the National Wisconsin Geological and Natural History.
Thank you.
If someone wants further testing done on their own, they could pay to have it done, correct?
Correct, yeah.
Yeah.
This is only a requirement for a lodging facility. There's
we do it
even
every
certain
year.
loans, I know I had to do a drinking water test kit when I secured, you know, financing for my house. So, you know, I know that datum is available out there. I had to do more than just coliform. I also had to do nitrates or, yeah.
Yeah. We do it every year at ours, and they check all the wellheads every year. So.
Daycares and stuff.
Yeah.
Shall we consider a motion to go forward with approval of our action plan?
I guess I'd like to make a motion to move it on to the county board. Current status, it's at.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Just one little note, it still goes to the State Land Conservation Board for approval prior to it coming back to the Sawyer County Board of Supervisors for final ratification. So Liz, don't put it on the agenda.
Okay.
We'll let you know when it goes to the county, back to the county for the agenda action item.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So it goes to the state, I think, February 3rd, was it?
Correct.
Okay.
Yep.
So
We're looking at February then for county board too.
February would be the earliest for county. Okay.
Yep.
Thank you. And now to public comments. Ms. Zillmer.
Linda Zilver, Edgewater property owner. With the start of this weather season and a lot of road and trail maintenance being needed, it reminds me that there's also a lot of demands being put on both the highway department and the forestry department to do to help out organizations that are more recreational in nature. And I don't know that the county charges for that work, but it also takes away from the work that maybe need to be done for the county. One example is I know that the highway department this year is foregoing, are foregoing putting gravel shouldering on the shoulders of the highways. And I don't know if the demands from taking care of other things are impinging on that. And to a certain extent, I know in other counties, foresters talk about the demands on their time. One thing having to do with supporting recreational events is item number 10 on your agenda is to approve a number of different events on county land. And at one time, there was a fee that was charged for these events. Did the county discontinue charging fees? And so as yet demands keep costs keep increasing and the county's having to pay for things out of levy, I would ask that for a future agenda item that this committee revisit charging fees for events on county land, especially when these organizations are charging a registration fee or some other kind of fee, so that it can help the county bear the costs of their work on county lands. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else for public comments today? Nobody online? Okay, agenda item number 12, consider approval of minutes from previous meeting. Thank you.
Second.
A motion by Mr. Evans and a second by Mr. Newman to approve the minutes of the previous meeting. All in favor? Aye. Motion carries. Item 10, events. Discussion and possible actions. Start with Sealy Hills Classic.
We'll make a motion to approve the Cedar Hills Classic.
Second.
Okay. We have a motion by Ms. Wilson and a second by Mr. Evans to approve the Sealy Hills Classic. All in favor? Aye. Motion carries. Berkey Tour.
I'll make a motion to approve the Berkey Tour on 1/24/26.
I'll second.
Okay, motion by Ms. Wilson and a second by Mr. Newman. All in favor? Aye. Motion carries. Berkey Week Ski Events.
I'll make a motion to approve those ski events.
I'll second.
Okay.
Can I ask one question for, just because I'm new and ignorant, in all these, the entry fee has been blank. Is that they're not declaring what the entry fee is because it changes when they based on when people register? Or is that like similar to the public comment? Like, is that where there would have been an entry fee charged by the county, but there's currently not?
Greg?
I can answer. Well, I think she's saying, is there any kind of fee that the county is putting into these entry fees for these events?
Or no, I was wondering, does that blank, there's a blank in the form that hasn't been filled out on these last three. Is that typically filled in with the cost that a participant pays to the organization to participate in the event? Or is that?
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
but with these, there's such a scale of
Yeah.
events and prices. That's probably why it's left blank. Otherwise, with like a single event, they'll just list the entry fee on there.
Okay, that was just my ignorance. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.
And for those that don't know, that is Allison John Jack. She is our agricultural representative. She was actually approved to sit as a standing member of this committee.
Okay.
Yeah. I should have done.
Should we add her to the list for a quorum purpose then?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay,
Yep.
Okay,
okay, then you were present, Allison.
Right.
so we are, we had a motion by Mr. Evans and a second by Mr. Newman for the Berkey Week ski event. All in favor? Aye. Motion carries. Fat Bike Berkey.
Make a motion to approve the Fat Bike Berkey through 28-26.
Second.
Okay, a motion by Ms. Wilson, a second by Mr. Evans to approve the Fat Bike Berkey event. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. And the last event here is the Epic Bike Fest.
Make a motion to approve the Epic Bike Fest 6 to 6/7/26.
I'll second that. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. We are done with our events, I believe. Move on to item 11, Register of Deeds report.
So I have the 3-month report here from 2025 to 2024. We were really busy. Oh, it's fine.
You don't have to hit it. Yeah,
No.
it's already live.
Your
Okay.
papers were ready.
Okay, sorry. So October, we were really busy with 541 documents. And we almost hit our record transfer fees, which was in August for 112,000, and we were just shy of 108,000. We had some really large sales coming in, and so now it's tapered off and slower. And Vital Records has been really busy, and yeah. So if you have any questions,
Nice to see births outpacing death.
That's.
yeah, it's been very busy in the whole death for
Very good.
2025.
Thank you much. Item 12, Land Records and County Surveyor Report. Guess we all have the report here. Nobody here or online to comment on it.
Yeah, let me know if you have any questions. For this report, we were having issues obtaining our paper that we ordered earlier this year. We did get it, and we are basically done printing most tax bills right now. So we're really in the clear tax bill printing. All right. So.
Okay. Very good. Land Records and County Surveyor Report.
Just did that.
Nothing there. Move on to forestry then.
Okay, for the month of November, we did have 13 sales listed as active. We've had a fair amount of activity on the forest as contractors are moving into frozen ground sales. Sale value uncut and on file is just over 4.8 million, and that includes our new sales from the bid opening a few weeks ago that you'll be approving shortly. Sale revenue for the month of November was just over 103,000. Our year-to-date, they were over 2.14 million. I did have an additional item included in here. Took a per Steve's request, put some volumes in here for the month and year-to-date. I think that was what you were maybe looking for.
Yes.
Just kind of give kind of eyeballs on what the money relates to as far as volumes there. So. And that's pretty typical for the year for an average, so we're on target there. Sale inspections are on target for the amount of activity. No new tracks were turned in. We're coming off of the the fall timber sale bid opening, so we're switching back to field work. We have been picking away at the Good Neighbor Authority contract with 31.5 hours. That's going well. Nothing new for Oak Wilt. ATV, UTV, snowmobile trails, the Tuscobia Trail Wooddale Road to Washburn County line was completed. It's a 4.2 mile section of trail. And we had further work on the snowmobile trail reroute on Highway 77. That's just about in place. I'll let our Alliance rep talk about the storm damage on his turn there, but there's been a lot of work by the Alliance trying to get the snowmobile trails ready for the season with that snowstorm during Thanksgiving week. Other than that, I don't have anything else. If there's any questions.
No questions? Great job with your last timber sale. Everyone sold, and that surprised me. I don't know about you, but
It did me too. I was gonna make note of that. It's like, if you look at a lot of our prices dipped down a bit, our fall is usually a bit depressed, but the most impressive fact was to sell 19 out of 19. You look at counties around us and they're not selling probably a quarter to a third of their sales. So that's a real feather in the cap to the staff for both county and DNR for the work they do out there and the timber sale design. So that's a big plus.
well done.
Has that ever happened before?
What's that?
Like all of them sold?
Yeah, we used to sell them all the time.
Okay.
Yeah, but once
Okay.
the New Page Mill in Rapids went down,
Yeah, I
then
say
that
that.
changed
I thought.
everything. So the last few years, it's been a struggle to get everything out the door. So
Okay, next item on the list is the timber sale bid results we've been talking about.
yep. So as I mentioned, we did sell them all. Prices are a little bit depressed on some of our key products, but we'll take it if we can sell them all. And like I said, fall's usually a little bit more down than our spring. We did have a couple of new bidders that showed up in the contractors that are bidding, but the bulk of them are known contractors we have a history with. So I would recommend approving the high bid on all sales.
What do you say, committee? Anyone care to make a motion to approve the
Sure, I'll
timber
make the motion to approve those high sales.
Oh, second.
Okay, we have a motion by Mr. Evans and a second by Mr. Newman to approve the timber sales. All in favor? Aye. Motion carries. Thank you, committee. Oh, next item, county forest withdrawal, Southwest Southeast, Section 6, Town 39 North, Range 3 West.
Yep, so this one, we're kind of playing a little bit of catch-up work. This is a radio tower that was approved through, I think, a couple other committees, and it finally came through forestry. The location selected is on county forest, just north of Highway 70, east of Draper, but with county forest law, communication towers are an incompatible use with county forest, so we have to do a formal withdrawal. Generally, the catch is if it's for a greater public benefit, and that's the case for a withdrawal. So we've done ones like this in the past. It's usually not very controversial for a public safety item like this, so should be a slam dunk for a withdrawal.
I'll make a motion that we approve the county forest withdrawal, section 6.
Is there a second?
So, go ahead.
Okay, motion by Mr. Newman, second by Mr. Evans, to approve the county forest withdrawal for the 2 acres. All in favor? Aye.
And this does have to go to county board for approval also.
Wisconsin DNR report.
Hello, David Totis, Wisconsin DNR Forestry. I'm subbing in for Craig today. He's out on some training, so we prepared this short little briefing for you. For the month of November, really, most of our staff, me included, had completed a lot of the site preparation work. think we were up to about 120 acres this year, which is quite a bit, actually. 80% of that would have been for oak regeneration and about 20% for white pine. We also, some staff completed prescribed burn breaks for some spring burns if we have the opportunity to complete this coming spring. We did have a window this November to do a prescribed burn successfully off the Salem fire lane for oak release. And it's like timber sale establishment is ongoing and focused down in the winter block at the moment. Seems to be that, from what I hear, that's kind of the place to be with all the snow right now. It's the only place to, or the only place to be. And that's Craig's report.
And the new bridge over the Thornapple there is helping access some of that maybe or not?
Oh, yeah. That's been a big help. I haven't been down there. And so that was in place. That's good enough.
Take credit for it.
Kudos to all who were involved in getting that done because that's important.
Oh, yeah, that's a big deal. Any other questions that I can pass along to Craig?
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
We don't have the Forest Service report today. Recreational Trails report.
Morning, guys. Tim Davison, Sawyer County Snowmobile Alliance. As Greg mentioned, the trails are just trashed. And we've been working night and day on them. We've got volunteer crews out working on every trail in the county. And we have a couple contractors out there that are donating their time, a few contractors actually. And it's coming along. There's a few sections that aren't done. There are some trails that are completely already ready to groom. And we will start grooming soon. Don't have a positive opening date on trails, but we're working on it. We just want to make sure we have them all cleared first before we even think about opening, because as soon as you say anything about open trails, in comes all the tourists and brings all the money up here again. So we want to make sure we're ready for them. We've been working on doing some reroutes. We have a trail reroute down in the southern part, down by Eagle Lodge on Blaisdell Road. We have to reroute a section of trail there. We got asked by a private landowner to get off. And that's one of the reasons we're so appreciative of the county, the state, the federal government to let us ride on their land. You know, it's a joy being able to deal with that rather than deal with a private homeowner that's got a beef about something that's not related to our sport. So it is appreciated very much. Highway 77 is done. We're waiting for a highway sign permit to sign the area now, the trail. That should be completed. I did go to a meeting on a trail that's in our county but managed by Bayfield County, and I was talking to the forester up there and talking about some of the work we're doing here as far as within borders of this county and Bayfield County. And the gal from the forestry department said, well, I think we should be paying that part of that bill for that work. And I said, well, more power to you then. So we saved the county some, or the Alliance some money on that one, which worked out real good, and we'll start a working relationship with them. They're starving for trail maintenance up in that county because they have nobody to do any trail maintenance except for a couple volunteers. Where in this county, we have trail maintenance going on 12 months a year. So it's working out good. Our maps will be out, our 2026 maps will be out next week. They're at the printer. They went from the printer to the folding company. Evidently, there's a company that folds them. So, and they're getting held up at the folding company for some reason. So that's good. The Alliance has started a project online. It's called Give Butter. It's for funding some of this work that's going on in the trail system right now for some of our repairs. Cause we have to hire some contractors to do some certain things. So we're asking, people to be online and donate that way. We'll see, we're doing some work in the reservation. We've been working in the reservation all year. Improving trails here and there. Trying to make it safer for everybody. The county was gracious enough to donate some rock that was left from screening sand for winter use. They got to screen the sand and then you got the rock byproduct that is really of no value. So we got some loads of that and put that on the trail in some of the mud holes, some of those mud holes. And as to a prior discussion, the Snowmobile Alliance does contribute to Sawyer County Forestry in money reimbursement for services. And we also have a budget that we hand off to them. They can use that budget as they see fit. That's part of our alliance budget. So I just wanted everybody to know that the Snowmobile and ATV Alliance does pay its way. So any other questions? Yeah.
Does it ever work to have a logger go and log like this Escobia Trail? Well, I know you did it down by Radisson there. What you did with Radisson.
Yeah, I mean, as far as the trail damage.
Well, yeah, I just noticed a lot east of Winter on Escobia. There's an awful lot of aspen, big aspen would be marketable logging, but
Yeah.
I know it's hard to get a logger to do that, but.
Well, we have a working right of way.
It's right back at Tim's, yes. I can speak on that.
Go ahead.
Be
my guest, I don't know the answer.
Well, the Tuscobia, the right of way to Tuscobia, the timber is inventoried. It's the DNR's responsibility to maintain the timber along the trail. So for years, going back 10, 15 years, there have been timber sales along the trail. They kind of just do it. I'm not the one that does it, but there's a forester here in Hayward that takes care of that property. So every couple of years, there's a need to do a harvest.
Yeah.
So eventually, the goal isn't to wipe out the entire trail at one time.
Oh no, there's just a lot of mature aspen east of Winter on Escobia. And with the that logger can do with the machine, reach out there and grab it. Like they do it in this, I've seen they do it in Ojibwa there in the spring, when the trail's not used much.
Yeah.
Then take them along and they cut all that mature and they'll save you time because when it tips over on the trail and you got to clean that mess up. And like one person got killed on the trail there a few years back, right on the Escobia just east of Winter because he had a popple that was across the trail. So
Yeah, that's something I can take back
could
to
you talk to
the
that guy?
department. And
Maybe bring it up.
Been a few years since
Bring
we
it up.
have one.
Been a couple.
It's definitely time to harvest it.
Oh, yeah.
That stuff's big.
Yeah.
Okay. As far as the Tuscobia goes, it's been probably the most maintained it's ever been, and it's probably in the best shape it's ever been. I get comments from people in other counties of why our Tuscobia is so much better than theirs, and it's just the way it's managed. We're obviously doing a better job managing it than the other counties do. So, any other questions?
In terms of the Alliance helping fund the forestry program, can you quantify that at all, just roughly?
Great.
Well, yeah. So I think what Tim's referring to is out of the maintenance money that we get from the state each year, the county is the grant sponsor. So we're in charge of all the state funded trails. It passes through us and we contract with the Alliance for all that maintenance work. But part of it is we hold back a chunk of $20,000 for the county to take care of emergency repairs that we can handle that might be out of the scope of the Alliance. Or a lot of times if we have contractors working near trail systems, we'll ask them to do a little extra work and we'll pay them out of that to do some maintenance work along with the logging road work. So so it's like we got that little piece, about 20,000 out of 180,000. What the total summer ATV grant is, so.
Sounds like a common sense, good working relationship.
Yep, yep, and then if then like this with the damage this year with the snowmobile trails ATV, we opened up that 20,000 for the Alliance to use to get the trails ready to go. So yep.
And out of that 180, we spend every penny of it. So, and it hasn't been done in the past, but we are doing it now and we'll continue doing it that way. Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
I've got a question.
Yes, sir.
General question about, you know, the, where the trail is located. So over the course of the season, as property owners, you know, come up to their properties and whatnot, you know, we'll get, reports of, you know, the trail and either, you know, if they feel the trail's encroaching on their property or, you know, basically property owners having issues with the trail along the right of way.
Mhm.
Do you guys, you know, and it's hard to say, oh yeah, like, you know, I don't know how that's supposed to get fixed during that season. So do you guys make note of that typically and
Yeah, if we're made
discuss it at
aware
the
of
beginning of the next season to try to?
Yeah, I'm not aware of any problems right now except the two we have going on. And the one reroute that we have, and we usually combat that right away because, you know, here this dude waited until November and then said, well, I can't have the trail there. Well, you know, we're going out of our way to get a bulldozer in there and bulldoze on some other person's land so we can have the trail go through, or we have no north-south trail system in the eastern part of the county, so. But if we are aware of issues, yes, definitely.
Okay, cool. So good to hear.
Okay, thank you, guys.
Thank you. Zoning and conservation report.
Yeah, as part of the conservation report, Price Dam update. That darn old Price Dam. So we have the electricity hooked back up to the second gate, and the second gate is still not responsive. We had our engineer go out to the site about 2.5 weeks ago now, and kind of help troubleshoot the situation. The suggestion was made by them to attempt to open the gate manually with an excavator or some type of boom truck to see if the gate is actually pinched in the sidewall. So there's two thoughts. Either the one wing wall of the dam is actually tipped in, which is now pinching the gate, that it's unable to fully function, or that there's still an issue within the clutch mechanism where something is slipping in the clutch. Because again, this gate, this lift gate, is more or less like a large garage door opener. And if the clutch isn't functioning right, the gate's never going to lift itself. So we're still kind of troubleshooting what we're going to do with this thing. There's a potential that we could try to loop this into a municipal dam grant. That municipal dam grant cycle, though, for the next 2 years is due in February. So it's going to be really hard to get everything together and try to get in by that deadline. So Tim and I and Natalie had some discussions last week, and I think our thought here is we don't necessarily want to try to lift this gate open now during December, during ice, during snow. It would be more so, you know, waiting until spring to see if we can actually, you know, manually lift this gate. And actually we would lift the first functioning gate first to see, you know, the tension strength that's needed to lift that one, then go to the second gate. And if it's starting to bind, we'll then stop. We know that it's pinched between the wall. If it's still freely swinging up like the other one is, then there's an issue with the clutch mechanism. None of this stuff is cheap. This is going to cost the county quite a bit of money. If there is a issue with the wing wall itself, that'd be something you definitely would want to get as part of a municipal dam grant, because now you're looking at hundreds of thousands of dollars, because you're having to basically fix that entire wall. Ongoing issue, one that we're certainly monitoring very carefully. You know, I always somewhat deal in worst case hypothetical scenarios. You know, worst case scenarios, we have a catastrophic rain event and we're only opening and able to function one gate. If that amount of rain that we have received is, you know, a substantial amount of rain, you could potentially see Lake Winter starting to back up and further potentially inundating structures and other people's properties. So it is as to an utmost concern and a priority of ours. But there's not a lot of things we can do right now during the season that we're in. So again, monitoring it very closely, trying to get someone lined up that can do a spring tensioning lift operation for us. And then proceeding with kind of what route we go from there. But I just wanted to keep the committee aware of the situation and praying that we don't have any large significant rainfall events. A 3, 4, maybe even a 5, 6 inch rain event. I think that one gate could handle. I mean, you could fully have that one gate open and we could get water moving downstream. We get some type of 500-year storm event, which could be like a 12-inch rain event. You would suspect that you'd have water backing up, maybe even overtopping the dam. So it's something that we do want to certainly get fixed as soon as we can, and still trying to troubleshoot and solve how we get that fixed. So that was the doom and gloom. The other one here, now we have our tree sale is active and online. So this is an annual tree sale that the county does. This is actually included as part of the land water resource management plan. The county offers trees for sale for private property owners at a discounted rate. This has been a great endeavor and program that we've operated for
This is
gotta
the
30th year. So and we get really good responses to that. It's basically just it's a wash for the county. We don't make money on this. We're buying the product at a discounted rate in bulk and then selling it to consumers and private property owners that would want to buy a bundle of 10 white pines for, $20 some, and they can go and plant them in their yard. So always a good program that's run here by the county. So the other only informational piece I have is that DNR public informational meeting will be held on December 15th. That is at 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. at the Seven Winds Conference Center. This is where the DNR will make their decision to approve, modify, or deny the water level order increase on the Coudray. This would be after the official comment period has ended on December 25th. The waters of the Coudray in turn then affect the lake levels of Grindstone, Whitefish, and Little Le Coudray. The current request is to raise the ordered water level maximum by an additional 6 inches. And there's been quite a few people that have been wanting this to occur. Water levels, for those that aren't aware, just to give a little bit more of an update, it was brought to my attention 5 years ago that previous administration has been keeping the water levels to a higher set level than the official 1955 order had set. Generally, all of our other dams would have a staff gauge at the actual dam itself that you go and look at the staff gauge. You're either high or low, you either open a gate or close a gate. Well, it's described that in the 55 order, the lake level was not at the control structure, it wasn't at the dam. It was another 1.5 miles upstream on the main lake of Le Coudray, which is different than any other dam we've ever operated. When we made that switch and that changeover, water moves downhill. So if Lake Le Coudray was here, we were taking a measurement from here, everything ended up dropping in the entire system. So that's what the increase and what the official petition for the increase is, to get that back to those historic levels. So, and that is to be heard at a public informational meeting on December 15th.
It'd be interesting to see how that plays out.
Yeah, there's been very little opposition to this. There's only really been a few individuals that have, stressed opposition. There's a large majority that wants the increase, including the LCO Conservation Department. They've wanted the increase as well for wild rice production within the Billy Boy flowage area.
Good. Any questions for Chief? If not, item 15, board appointed committee updates. Nothing there. 16, correspondence, reports from conferences and meetings. Anybody? Future agenda item. We are adjourned. I thank you all very much.